Check out the video's description to find out how you can win a Rakk Apiq RGB gaming mouse or this Rakk Apiq.2 mechanical keyboard. What's up guys, this is pacomnl, back with another video review. Today I have in my hands the Rakk Apiq.2 mechanical keyboard with replaceable outemu blue switches. Keeping in line with all of Rakk's products, this keyboard is highly affordable, clocking in at 1500 pesos or around $30 US. Now, at first glance, it seems like you get what you pay for here, and relative to their other keyboards, it seems like this one is pretty bare bones. This is probably the cheapest mechanical keyboard I've ever laid my hands on, so I'm pretty curious to see how it looks and how it performs. Let's unbox this and put it to the test, shall we? Taking a look at the package, you'll notice the relatively minimal design on the front of the package, illustrating the keyboard itself and a few of its main features. I'm a big fan of how the packaging looks, as it is clean, simple, and straightforward. At the back of the package, a flat lay illustration of the keyboard can be found along with a more detailed list of features, which we'll get into in just a bit. Opening the box, you'll find the keyboard neatly packed in a protective foam wrap, and underneath the board itself, you'll find a switch puller and keycap puller. This is a trend with all of Rakk's mechanical keyboards. They always include a switch puller and or keycap puller, which is really nice to have bundled in. Now, taking a look at the keyboard itself, the first thing you'll notice is its font design. The gamer aesthetic is evident in the font choice, and I'm personally not a big fan of this font choice, but I do know a lot of people like it, so it's really just personal preference. Although I'd like to add that I always prefer a minimalist, clean font design instead of a quote-unquote gamer font. The next thing you'll notice is that the keyboard comes with a protective cover that keeps dust away from the metal alloy top panel of the board. I would imagine this keyboard would be widely used in internet cafes across the country. So that said, having a silicone cover will help keep the keyboard clean while having a lot of people use the same board. But if you're like me and you're using this board at home, I'd rather do without it really, as I'd like to show off the metal alloy top panel of the board. Do note that you have to remove each key to remove the silicone protective cover, so it's not that easy to remove. Lifting the keyboard and taking note of its build quality, I noticed that the board itself has a substantial amount of weight to it. I tried flexing the board and it didn't give, so this is a really good sign that this keyboard is built to last. Color me impressed that for a board that feels this solid, it only costs 1500 pesos. A funny thing I noticed is that when you take a look behind the box, it says the USB cable is braided. However, upon closer inspection of the product itself, you'll find that the cable is indeed not braided. Having a non-braided cable is not an issue with gaming mice, and I actually prefer it in some cases, but for a keyboard that remains stationary, I would much prefer a braided cable for durability purposes. The outemu blue switches on this thing is rated to last a standard 50 million clicks. No surprise there, as most keyboards come with this durability rating. Outemu blue switches have a tactile peak force of 63 grams, actuation force of 46 grams, bottom out force of 60 grams, spring force of 60 grams, overall travel distance of 4 millimeters, tactile event distance of 2 millimeters, and an actuation point of 2.7 millimeters. When looking at the data, you'll notice that outemu blue switches imitate Cherry MX blue switches. Switch rattle and overall performance is nearly identical to Cherry MX switches. The keyboard also features 104 key full anti-ghosting, which is really important in a gaming keyboard and is also considered to be an industry standard nowadays. Earlier in this video, I mentioned that this product is very bare bones, and you pretty much get what you pay for here. Notice that the product does not advertise itself as a full RGB keyboard because, well, it's not. It's a multicolor LED backlit keyboard with 6 different lighting modes that do not offer the full 16.8 million color range. Here's what the different lighting modes have to offer. As you can see, the RGB lighting is very bright and vibrant, as you might expect, and the lighting modes available work fine. However, I did notice the lack of static uniform color mode, meaning you can't make all the keys one color, which is a major downside for me, as the keys are all multicolor LEDs and you can't change that. Now let's move on to how the keyboard feels when typing on it. This keyboard does very little, but what it does very well. Typing on this feels and sounds exceptional. I love the tactile feel of the outemu blue switches on this thing, and it sounds extra clicky too. The keys don't feel mushy at all, and they don't wiggle in place, which is a very good sign. Here's a quick sound test so you can hear how it sounds. One standout feature of this keyboard is that it has easily replaceable mechanical switches. So if you grow tired of clicky, loud outemu blues, you can quickly change the mechanical switches. You'd be hard pressed to find a board that offers this functionality for such an affordable price, so this is really impressive. Now that you know all the product's features and have an idea of how it feels and sounds, what's my verdict? The Rakk Apiq.2 mechanical keyboard is a bare bones keyboard that doesn't offer a lot of features, but it gets the job done. This would be a great choice for internet cafe owners or budget gamers looking to get their first mechanical keyboard without breaking the bank. This is a very functional keyboard, typing on feels excellent, and no doubt it's good to game. Outemu blue switches are always dependable and is a great mechanical switch, though I personally prefer Guideron switches. However, if you game at home and can afford something like the Rakk Apiq.2, I really believe that it's worth the extra cost, and I would recommend you go with that instead of this one. There you have it, guys, my quick review of the Rakk Apiq.2 mechanical keyboard. Remember to check out the description to find out how you can win this keyboard. Like, comment, subscribe if you found this video to be informative. This is your host, pacomnl, and I'll catch you in a future video.